And a very warm welcome to our afternoon session today. This is vk3sl and we are testing on 160 and on UHF and also streaming online to the music of Gershwin. He's American in Paris. And I'm compelled. I love this record. I really like the way Salvador Camerata is addressing this piece. He's really got the right sort of swag. He does. It's just spot on. It's really good. This is one of these vinyl records that came into the picture just recently. I might let this go. It's got about another 5 minutes. So I reckon we'll let it ride for a bit longer and then we'll be on in business.
That's good.
Frank, I reckon that would have to be one of Gershwin's magnum opuses, the American in Paris. And what a remarkable piece. And I hadn't heard it for ages, and it sort of evokes memories of cartoons, because I reckon a lot of those motives were used in cartoons. Sort of seeing Tom and Jerry running around, you can hear that motive. So,
Good evening.
And hello to you there, Frank. How you going?
Going well, thank you. And you?
Yeah, hanging in there. Did you have a good afternoon yesterday?
Yeah, great.
Yeah, good to hear.
Yeah. With the kids and
had a catch up.
the like. It was terrific.
Good, excellent. Yay. Oh, well, I'm sort of relishing in my last day of holidays.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it's all back to work tomorrow. So I have to leave really early and sort of, get back into the rhythm of it all, which is going to be a rude awakening, I think.
Yeah, my daughter-in-law's, I think she started back already.
Oh, really? Some people do.
No, the 31st. That's tomorrow, is it?
Okay. Yeah.
Tuesday.
It might be Tuesday.
We're going out Tuesday and Wednesday with the kids because they don't start till the 1st. So
Okay, sure.
we're having two picnics, one after the other.
Oh, well, I hope you get good weather for them.
I hope we will, yes.
Yay. Oh, that sounds like fun. Nice. All right. Well, so we'll, I don't know what we'll do today. We'll have a few things have popped up on the radar. I've sort of had a fairly relaxed day. One little project which will interest Mr. Fleming, if he's listening, is that I spent much of today, a number of hours, calibrating the focal plane shutter on an old 1926 Press Graflex camera.
Oh, you're doing early.
Yeah, really early using the old technology.
Oh, that's fascinating.
Yeah, it's very interesting, and they're mechanical marvels, these machines, with what they had, and I've compared the shutter durations to a digital camera, a modern one, and they are pretty damn accurate. It's amazing.
I know.
So,
I have a friend who was into that stuff about 40 years ago. He showed me a wonderful Hasselblad.
Oh, really? Fabulous. Oh, they're amazing. Yeah, the mechanical
and that sort of incredibly precise mechanical stuff.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Totally. Yeah. This particular machine's really agricultural. It's sort of like I think mostly used, but it was used a lot by professional photographers and a fair bit by the press. So they're fairly indestructible in one sense, but it had it all seized up and it needed quite a lot of work and there was damage. And so I've always tried and set a couple of projects for the holidays, and that was one of them. I really wanted to sort of finish it. And there is still a lot of work to do on it, but I will be able to run a film through it now, which should be fun. And the other one was the wire recorder, which I sort of did in bits and fits and starts earlier on. Yeah, but as you know, I've been away a lot this break.
Can you get the wire now?
Yeah, and they can't really. But someone rang me with had a wire recorder, and so I picked it up and had a whole stack of wires with it. So I've been fiddling with that. That was earlier on.
Be good fun.
Yeah, it was good fun. I just love to discover how things work. And and it works really well. It's amazing.
You'll have to become the new Techmo.
I refer that to Mr. Stu. He does, and he's put up a new video, by the way. He's put up a new video. If you go to his site, he's discovered a gold mine near his area, and a literal gold mine, and talks about it and discovers it. So
have a look.
Yeah, it's out there. I can send you a link. So for
Thank
sure.
You for the lovely Marian Anderson.
Oh, yeah, wasn't it incredible? I listened to that. Yes, we had a program largely devoted to Marian Anderson on Friday night. So if people want to go to the log, there's some really beautiful music there. And she was just a force of nature, amazing woman. She lived to 96. I didn't realise they had such a long life.
She really?
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely. Incredible. She's just someone who just gives so much to her art and just did so much for Black American people too. Just her way she was able to, that concert at the Lincoln Center against all odds.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. So, yeah. Anyhow, well, that's our little news component. I suppose we can kick off with a few 78s. I got a 20s hit. This is one of the records where the label's worn off. So I'm sort of hazarding a guess with this. I could just see the word Bumble on it, and I think it's Let the Bumblebee Be with the 6 jumping jacks. I'm guessing that.
Okay.
But yes, it's a sort of 20s fare. So we'll kick off with that, and then we'll get the playlists in order. So
We'll say this is VK3JR in contact with vk3sl.
yes, indeed, cross-band duplex on 2 meters to 160 on UHF, and also streaming service. So that's the way it works here. Here we go. In phase and up with the fader. 6 jumping jacks, I think.
month of May, through the park I chanced to stray. Saw a bumblebee buzzing round a tree, so I buzzed right away. Now a bumblebee buzzing round a tree may appear to be a friend. Listen to this song and you'll find you're wrong, 'cause he'll get you in the end. I'm gonna let the bumblebee be. I'm gonna let the bumblebee be. A bumblebee will buzz, but that ain't all he does. And I ain't the fool that I used to was. I'm gonna let the bumblebee be.
There we have it, the 6 jumping jacks. And from about 1926, a definitive light beam recording with its native even harmonic euphoric distortion there in abundance. Yeah, the light beam process was a very flawed process, but it does give that larger-than-life sound, which I always enjoy hearing.
Super compressed, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Absolutely, it is. It's an interesting sort of technology where they used a photo light cell thing. And funny enough, I've been using that with the camera too. I made up a little photo light thing to register the shutter. Got a little a photo, what do they call them? Photo transistor. I made up a little circuit.
Not a light dependent resistor.
It's not a resistor.
It's actually
it's 3
legs.
Yeah. Oh, actually, it's got two legs. So it's diode, I suppose.
Diode.
Yeah. Anyhow, it's supposed to be light sensitive UHF, and it picks up light through the shutter and registers on a little graph, and you can work it out. But I ended up not using it in the end. I used it for a while, and then I found another way using the digital camera and comparing histograms as my approach. But yeah, anyhow, that was all fun. But I do enjoy hearing the 6 jumping jacks. Now, an artist, I'm trying to find more about this artist. I don't know where she really came from, but I know she was born in the US, but she's of either Japanese or Chinese origin. And she sort of went to Japan. I'm guessing she might have Japanese heritage, because she went to Japan before the war and just made all these records in Japan and became a really big superstar. And her name was Betty Inada. And so she's sort of Native American, but she went there and sort of imported American music a bit, and also synthesized influences from Japanese music as well. But I just can't get much biographical information about her. It's all a bit vague, but she made lots of records, and she came up on my list because yesterday I played some recordings from a woman called Lada Roberti. She was an American actress, beautiful actress, very sensuous actress, and she died young, and she made just a few records, and we featured a couple yesterday, and one of them was a track called Take a Number from 1 to 10. Now, I've just discovered that Betty Inada also recorded this in Japan, so it's sort of got a bit of Japanese flavour to it. It's quite characterful, so I thought we'll have a listen to it now and see what else I can find of Betty Inada. I'm vk3sl.
あなたの心占いましょうよ。どんなこと思ってるか。あなたの心あまりに浮気で本当に困りものよ。1234567だよ素敵ラッキーの才能名よ。これから先 Take a number from 1 to 10 Double it and add a zillion. That's how many thrills I'll get. That's how many chills I'll get on the day when you will say I do, I do, I do. Take a number from 1 to 10 Double it and add a zillion. That's how many thrills I get. That's how many chills I get on the day when you will say I do, I do, I do.
Okay, there we had Betty Inada. And yes, an interesting sort of American-Japanese approach there.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, it's characterful, and it's sort of, they don't swing, but there's a connection there. And
I like her singing in Japanese best.
yeah, so do I, definitely. Yes, I think she does well. Yeah, I want to find out. I want to find out more. I have to refer it to our brains trust if you can find out more. I missed out on some of that because I had to dash out and sign a stat deck for someone, so I had to run out the door. So I got most of it though. Now I'll play another one. There's a rumba here, but these sites on YouTube, there's so much of this vintage Japanese music, and it's all intriguing. But there's a big problem, is most of it's really poorly transferred, or someone's just played it on a wind-up gramophone and stuck a microphone down the horn, which sounds really tinny and just full of, it just doesn't sound good. So finding sort of quality transfers of Japanese music is really hard. So so far I really haven't had much success. So I want to keep persevering, and most of the sites are completely in Japanese. There's no, it's only when I do use the Google Translate that I find out who the artists are, and this one is the case in point. So we just by default worked out that this is indeed a rumba, and it features Betty Inada, recorded in 1935, I think.
月の出る頃、今宵祭りにヤギの木陰にて君と踊ろうよ。またるるそのひとときに我が胸の火は君上もゆる。ラクカラッチャラクカラッチャやのけてcamina porque no tiene porque la falta Malimana que fuma, la cucaracha, ya no puede caminar, porque no tiene, porque la falta, Malimana que fuma.
Okay, Betty Inada with a rumba back in 1935. Now, unfortunately, it was a bit of a muffle missions event, which sort of takes the spirit out of the music, unfortunately. But I would love to discover more of this music from recorded in Japan. There seems to be so much of it. There's one site here found called Nippon Polydor.
Right.
And it's a YouTube site called Nippon Polydor. It's all in Japanese, the whole thing, everything, including all the comments. There's nothing in English at all except for that. So it's quite a process of there's hundreds of recordings. This seems to be the site one of the only sites where things have been really, I won't say well transferred, but just transferred without using filters and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I'll just play a couple. I've just opened the door to the site. I really want to find out much more about it. But there is one here, which just through a process of elimination, I was able to establish featured Betty Inada. So we'll play that, and I just don't know the name of the song because Google Translate doesn't work with titles, it just works with comments. So we've got a rather sort of convoluted way of discovering these things. I can tell you it's a Columbia 78, and it's a product of Nippon Polydor, which is the name of the site. In fact, if anyone's got any requests from that site, send them through, and I'd love to play some more. Okay, that was actually played on one gramophone. Never the mind. Beautiful song, though.
Yeah.
I really like it, sort of the minor key, and it is a sort of flavour of the times.
Native sort of sound, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and it sort of makes me sort of, I don't know, imagine what the sort of exotic, sort of Western, or sort of combination of Western and Eastern influence, especially in the 1930s. It must have been a magical place.
Right.
Yeah, so recordings made in Japan. Yeah, but with a distinctly American influence, although I think she's a Japanese artist. I really do wish to find out more about Betty Inada. There's just so little online. There are other artists who made strong impressions and with the same ilk. One is Shizuku Kazagi, and I remember doing a program on her a long time ago when we first started missions, and she was known as the Japanese Queen of Boogie. And she recorded prolifically in that sort of pre-war period in the 30s in Japan. And I've just discovered one of her records here on that same site. Again, I just rely totally on Google Translate, to get the information. But I just thought I'd play one of those just to sort of, continue the vibe for a little bit longer. But yes, the Queen of Boogie. Let's have a listen to... I might get the pronunciation. Shizuko Kazagi is her name. What long intros with these. Oh, how about that for raw energy? Amazing. There we had Shizuko Kazagi was the vocalist there. She was an actress and a force of nature and made recordings in the 30s and 40s in Japan. And it says here that during World War II, the Japanese government was cracking down on Western music, and the vigorously dancing Kazagi received directives from authorities to stand still no further than 1 metre from the microphone. She must have offended them with her antics. Amazing. She had a big hit. This is shortly after this, and called Tokyo Boogie Woogie. I've got to play this. This. This will be the last of this segment, but I just want to hear a little bit more. East,
West.
Yes, definitely. So this was apparently a huge hit for her in 1946, and which is interesting because she sort of remained in Japan during that period where everything was in upheaval in Japan. And 1946, the state of Japan was pretty poor, I would have imagined. So, I'd be interesting to find out what happened. How does she manage to work in a country that was in such complete state of cultural upheaval and upheaval in every sense. So, anyhow, Shizuku Kazaki now. We've moved on from Betty in Nada. and we'll just hear this one track. Tokyo Boogie Woogie is the name of the track on a Nippon Columbia from 1946.
ワクワク海を渡り響くは東京ブギウギブギの踊りは世界の踊り二人の夢のあの歌口笛吹く恋とブギのメロディー燃ゆる心の歌マイ恋の歌声に君と月の下で東京ブギウギ沈むウキウキ心ズキズキワクワク正義の歌心の歌東京ブギウギヘイ太鼓叩いて風に踊ろうよ歌おうよ君も僕も愉快な東京ブギウギ無事を踊れば世界は一つ同じリズムとメロディーを手拍子とって歌おうブギのメロディー燃ゆる心の歌マイ恋の歌声に君と踊ろうよ今宵も星を浴びて東京ウキウキ沈むウキウキ心ズキズキワクワク世界の歌楽しい歌東京ブギウギブギウギ陽気な歌東京ブギウギブギウギ正義の歌歌え踊れよブギウギ
As the queen of Japanese boogie woogie, that was Shizuko Kazagi in 1946 with Tokyo Boogie Woogie. It's the name of the tune. She did other boogie woogies as well. Sort of made a bit of a trademark after that time. And she lived on. 1985, I think she lived to. So, yeah.
Good on her.
Yeah, Yay! So that was a bit of fun. I always like a little excursion into those exotic recordings made in Japan and in China. Haven't done it for a while. It all came about from Mr. Stew, one of the missions, where he found some wonderful recordings. You might remember those.
That's right. They were great.
They were fun. Yay! Another artist that sort of jumped into my midst, and you're someone you'll know very, very well, Frank, but I do nothing about until this morning, so I'm keen to sort of riff on her output. And that is Helen Shapiro.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I just found a
big voice.
Yeah, she had a huge voice, and
even when she was very young, she had a very big voice.
Yeah, and she started her career really, really young, in the age of 14 or something.
And still had that big voice.
Yeah, incredible. And she's still singing, she's still doing stuff. It's incredible.
Good.
Yeah, she's still out there. But apparently in 1963, well, there's a video here, and I commend it to the listener. It's called Helen Shapiro and the Beatles in 1963.
Oh, boy.
And the Beatles apparently were a support act to her.
Is that right?
On their tour. And she made a film for MTV or whatever it is, the TV network, of where she sings this song, and the video's here, and it's just hilarious. There's three of the Beatles. Paul McCartney wasn't in the studio that day. He was doing something else, but it's got John Lennon and Ringo and George, the three of them, and she cuddles up to them and sort of cajoles them. They're sort of just like mannequins, but but they're having so much fun, and they're tickling her, and they're sort of really getting involved. So it's a fabulous film clip. It reveals so much about the personality of the Beatles, their fun-loving spirit. But so I can play this because I can't play Beatles because I always get nasty copyright stamps when I do that. But this is the nearest thing to it because they're on the video, but they're not singing. But Helen Shapiro is. So I'll play this. It's a lot of fun, and just imagine she's cajoling with them as she's singing this. And they're having the time of their lives. Helen Shapiro back in 1963. This is from Andrews TV, I think it's called. Andrews Television, it says. She's nudging up to John Lennon at this point.
Look who it is, it's me, and I still love you. Well,
now it's Ringo's turn.
did you think I'd forgotten you? I realize that you may have found someone new, but I just cannot pretend that I haven't missed you.
Ringo's putting his head on her shoulder.
Look who it is, it's me, and I love you so. Baby, now I realize I have made a big mistake. There are teardrops in my eyes, and my heart is about to break. Well, look who it is, with his hand reaching out for mine. Well, look who it is. Everything's gonna turn out fine. Oh, I have waited so long and prayed that I'd meet you with all your charms. Look who it is. It's you, and you're in my arms. Oh, look who it is. It's you, and you're in my arms. Whoa, look who it is. It's you, and you're in my arms.
Yay, there we have it. Helen Shapiro and the Beatles, who don't sing, but they're props. and they engage with her very directly. Even John Harrison even gives her a little bit of a mock slap in the face, and then kneels down in front of her. Yeah, look, they're having a lot of fun there. So there we have it. Now, Helen Giles, I really like her voice. I like her spirit.
Yeah, she's a happy voice, isn't
Yeah, she has got a happy voice and a strong voice. And here she is talking about her association with the Beatles and how they were working with her as a support act. This is one of these YouTube shorts which has popped into the scheme. See if it works on this system.
What we used to call pop package tours. And then at the beginning of '63, the same guy who would promote all these tours came to me and said, okay, for the next tour, we've got this one, this one, this one, and this new group, don't know if you've heard of them, the Beatles. And this was their first major UK tour. And I thought they were great. And of course, gradually, as the tour went on, they released Please Please Me, which went to the top of the charts, and that's when they started getting their own audience in. So, and they were promoted from being the opening act to closing the first half. And we were just watching them, and we knew they were going to be big, but we never knew how big, of course.
Love me do.
Okay, there we go.
Careful.
Yes. So there's our little little context video there, and that's a YouTube short. So they go in endless rotation. Okay, now there's another one of her. Have you got is there any song that sort of stands out to you of Helen Shapiro that you'd like to hear? I can play a couple.
Well, one of her big hits was Walking Back to Happiness, I think.
Oh, right, okay, we can dial it.
Something like that.
Yeah,
Anyway.
walking
Back.
to happiness. Helen Shapiro. And Welcome Back to Happiness. Here she is. And here teenagers of the 60s. Okay, well, put this on. I'd like to hear it. Yeah, I'd just like to sort of honour her, having sort of discovered her for the first time. It's nice to find someone new from that era. I love that era. I love that early 60s sound.
Oh, yeah.
It's great. All right, here we go. Walking Back to Happiness. Helen Shapiro in 1960 Mumble. And it's taking its time.
Funny, but it's true what loneliness can do. Since I've been away, I have loved you more each day. Walking back to happiness. Oh, yeah, yeah. Said goodbye to loneliness. Oh, I never knew I'd miss you. Now I know what I must do. Walking back to happiness I shared with you. I'm making up for things I said. Oh, yeah, yeah. And mistakes to which they led. Oh, yeah, yeah. I shouldn't have gone away, so I'm coming back today. Walking back to happiness I threw away. Walking back to happiness with you. Said farewell to loneliness I knew. I laid aside
Okay, welcome back to Happiness, another sprightly, positive, affirming tune from the 60s. Helen Shapiro, and apparently she sort of got really involved with jazz later on.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and sung with Humphrey Littleton's band, toured with him
really?
extensively. Yeah, I was just trying to sort of find an example. I don't think they made recordings, but there's
Never heard any anyway.
Yeah, but they
So
did.
she didn't do.
Yeah, and but there's a couple of anniversary concerts and sort of little snippets. I'll play something from much later on when she's in her 60s or 70s. She's still going. She's still doing stuff. So I'll find out what else is going on. But I'll play just a little bit from this 30th anniversary concert, which probably would have been in the 80s or 90s, I suppose. But I can play the last little bit, just the last couple of minutes. And I think this is with Humphrey Littleton's group, but it certainly is with looks like a jazz combo. So let's find out. vk3sl.
Yeah.
No denying your best love. You'll be sad, you'll miss the best of sky you've ever had. There'll come a time, don't you forget it. There'll come a time when you'll regret it. Oh boy, think what you're doing. You know my love for you will drive me to ruin. After you've gone away.
All right, so that's from an anniversary concert that popped up. I was just looking further, and there's a recording here of her singing St. Louis Blues. That could be really good.
great.
This is a studio recording, and so it would be interesting to hear what she does with this, because hearing those early recordings, I would have had no idea that she'd move into the jazz EDM.
Voice quality doesn't sound much different.
No,
does
it sounds just as strong. Yeah, huge voice. She probably would have been a good opera singer. Yeah,
She
and-
might have, if properly trained.
yeah, but it's just such a strong voice, and she sings well in
A
tune.
little bit of a hard edge, I don't know.
Yeah, she has got I think she belted a lot. And,
Yeah, well, that's right.
yeah, it would need to be refined if she did that. I was just reading her bio, and she came from a very impoverished background. And when her first single came out, they didn't even have a record player in the house
Joking.
to play it. So, it's pretty, extraordinary. And she embraced a form of Judaism called Messianic Judaism. I think it's a sort of evangelical side where...
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, which is interesting too. So, just a couple of little anecdotes, but she's apparently still going strong. Anyhow, let's have a listen to St. Louis Blues, Helen Shapiro.
Got the St. Louis blues. I'm just as blue as I can be. Well, that man's got a heart like a rock cast in the sea, or else he wouldn't go so far from me. I hate to see that evening sun go down. Yes, I hate to see that old evening sun go down, because my baby has done gone left this town. Well, if I feel tomorrow just like I feel today, yes, if I feel tomorrow like I feel today, I'm gonna burn powder and all that store-bought hair. Oh yeah, you know the man that I love would not have gone nowhere, nowhere. I got the St. Louis blues. I'm just as blue as I can be. Well, that man's got a heart like a rock cast in the sea. Or else he wouldn't go so very far from me. Well, I love that man like a schoolboy loves his pie, like a Kentucky colonel loves his men and rye. Well, I love my baby until the day I die. Yes, I love my baby until the day I die.
Heard Helen Shapiro with St. Louis Blues, and I thought she made a great effort, a great go at that.
She did, didn't she?
I really, she
carried it off very well.
I thought she did, yeah. Just lots of huge voice, my God.
Yeah.
She just had everything in reserve, didn't she?
Yeah.
And as you say, there's a bit of an edge. There's a bit of an edge which I don't quite, yeah, it grates a little bit. But I think she's certainly got a great sense of line and carries a phrase beautifully.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. There's
Plenty of gusto, you know.
Oh, look, absolutely. And, it suits that sort of blues singing really, really well.
That's what you want.
Exactly, yeah. So there's a recording of you singing. I found a whole lot of stuff now. There's all sorts of interesting things, including a concert with Humphrey Little and recorded for BBC Three, which I might ride out with at the end of the program. And so we'll do that at the end. But there's a recording of her singing Duke Ellington's Caravan. I'd like to hear this. I'd like to hear what she does with something that's a bit more rhythmically complex.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're just sort of riffing on the music of Helen Shapiro at this point and listening to some of her jazz recordings. I'm vk3sl.
VK3JR.
With a long lead in. These take a while to queue up these files.
Night and stars above that shine so bright, the mystery of the fading light that shines upon our caravan. Sleep upon my shoulder as we creep across the sand, so I may keep this memory of our caravan. This is so exciting. You are so inviting, resting in my arms as I thrill to the magic charms of you. Beside me, here beneath the blue, my dream of love is coming true within our desert caravan. above that shines so bright. The mystery of the fading light that shines upon our caravan. Come on and sleep upon my shoulder as we creep across the sand so winding. This memory of our caravan. Oh, this is so exciting, and you are so inviting. Resting in my arms as I thrill to the magic charm of you. Diving here beneath the blue, my dream of love is coming true. Within our timeless caravan.
High Octane cabaret singing from Helen Shapiro there with the Duke Ellington's Caravan. Love that song. I love it.
Oh, it's great stuff.
Underscore. Yeah, sure is. Anyhow, well, look, I might play at the very end. I've got to wind up fairly soon because I guess we've got guests coming over shortly. But I was going through some 45s, and these are some 45s that Jamie very kindly passed on my way, and they are. They're presented like a set of 5 45s in a small box about the size of a 7-inch tape box, and it's sort of like an alternative to the LP where you get 4 tracks per record, and you probably end up getting a little bit more music than an LP.
Sure,
It must be an American thing, I think, because I've never seen anything like this here, and they've got the larger hole in the record as well. But I just had I was just doing things in here today, and I thought I'd put on some background music and just sample them. And there's one here of the Glenn Gray's Orchestra, and on a deco. They sort of would suit probably a jukebox or something like that. Maybe these records. They are 45s, and Glenn Gray and his Castlehome Orchestra, which is a group I associate with the 30s. I think Glenn Gray was huge in the 30s. He had a really tight, excellent ensemble, but evidently he kept going right into the 50s, and this is definitely recorded at that time. But it's a track called No Name Jive, and it's really upbeat, and it's really well played, and it's in good sound, and it's Glenn Gray and his Castlehome Orchestra. So it's two sides of a 45. So I'll give it a bash. See what you think of it, Frank. It's an instrumental, and Glenn Gray and his orchestra. So I'll just cue it up, and we'll find out. Okay, vk3sl. And that was Glenn Gray, and the No Name Jive is the name of the tune. I'll flip the disc and we'll play side B. This is a sort of truncated album. It's an album being issued as a series of about 5 or 6 45s, 7-inch 45s, and they. Yeah, it's an interesting way to package records. I've never seen them here, but it sort of works quite well. So anyhow, we'll hear more of Glenn Gray. I was just reading about him. He must have been quite a modest man because he didn't want to conduct his band. He sort of let somebody else conduct.
Oh, right.
And eventually they voted him in. They sort of talked him into it. So interesting. So this is a part of is a bit of a resurgence. I was just reading about this. He was resurgence in the 50s, and where his band was made a number of records in hi-fi for Decca and Capitol. So this is a part of that, and apparently these have also been issued on an album as well. So we listen to the 45 version. And sadly, he died in the early 1960s, in his early 60s. So he sort of didn't live into the modern era, really. But very, very popular in the 1930s. And so, yeah, let's hear the Glenn Gray sound. And we'll hear part 2 of No Name Jive. Well, I've got a confession to make, folks. There was something really wrong with that recording, and I was playing it at the wrong speed. These recordings, I thought it was sounding a bit lackluster, and I thought, well, it is a bluesy piece. So there we go. This is the thing. These records are 45s, not 33s, and I can give you the last little bit. I won't play the whole thing again, but this is really what it should sound like. Jive at the correct speed, and yes, some of these things happen sometimes. I was thinking, what's wrong with this? It just sort of sounded lame, and I thought, oh, big blues, perhaps it, just needs to be laid back, and maybe but it just sort of sounded like they were a bit bored, and of course it was at the wrong speed. Never mind. Anyhow, we'll have to wind it here. I'm going to play this recording of Helen Shapiro and Humphrey Littleton as the live from Radio 3 performance at the 100 Club in London in 1998.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll be our wind out for today.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it comes in 2 segments. I'll do a quick break in between, but yeah, that's essentially what's happening. And so, yeah, thank you, Frank. Thanks.
Thank you, Steve.
Yeah, all right. Well, we'll look forward to next Friday, maybe, all being well. I should be here.
I should be too.
Excellent. All right. Well,
may the week go quickly and pleasantly as possible.
Yeah, enjoy yeah, for sure. Enjoy your time with the grandkids, Frank.
I certainly will.
Yeah. Hope it all goes well. And regards to all. And we will look forward to your company and the listener as well next week. And, back on board next weekend. That's the plan. So should be able to do normal missions next weekend. I know there's some MSO concerts on Saturday, so if we plan to go to one, I'll have to let you know about that. But otherwise, all in good. Thanks, Frank. All the best.
All the best, Steve.
Yep.
Cheers to the listener.
And yes, absolutely. All the best to the listener. Thank you.
Okay, 3JR closing down.
And vk3sl. Yeah, saying cheerio until next time.
Years now, a show's been touring the country called Humph and Helen. It began quite some time ago with a package called Echoes of the Duke, and now it's reached its 3rd CD and I think almost its 3rd incarnation as a touring show. Will you please welcome Helen Shapiro? And the band begin with Shiny Stockings.
Silk shiny stockings that I wear when I'm with you. I wear 'cause you told me that you dig that crazy hue. When we
go to a dance, do you think of romance? Oh no, you take a glance at those shiny stockings, then comes some chick along with great big stockings too. You smile, then you leave me lonely. What am I to do? I guess I'll have to find a new kind, a new guy who'll dig my shiny stockings too.
Helen Shapiro with Humphrey Lyttelton and his band. Now, Helen, you began some time ago as a child star. What was the... A long time ago. What was the progress from those early days with Please Don't Treat Me Like a Child to becoming a jazz singer?
Well, my little guilty secret is that I was a jazz fan long before the days of Don't Treat Me Like a Child. I was kind of brought up on jazz. The influence of my brother, my older brother, who was a jazz fan, just kind of fell upon me. And so it was a natural thing for me eventually to sort of come into my inheritance as a jazz singer.
And how did you and Humphrey start working together?
Well, that's another story, and I don't know whether Hump should tell it or I.
Actually, if I could tell it, because it all started with a guy who's sitting over there, Dave Gelly.
Where's Dave?
A wonderful jazz musician and a wonderful jazz critic. He spotted, when he writes little columns in the Observer, and he spotted that Helen had matured as a jazz singer from a record called Straighten Up and Fly Right, which he wrote. And I, at the time, was being asked to think up a guest artist to appear with the band at a concert in the Queen Elizabeth Hall, a tribute to Duke Ellington. And I was absolutely stuck, because all I could think of was the people who were guest artists with every other jazz show. Until I read Dave's article, and I got the record out of the BBC library.
Yeah, do you know what? He was too mean to go and buy this blooming record.
And decided that was it. So that's how it all started, yeah.
Good. Well, the band and Helen are going to continue showing that association with a song which I think goes back to the Harlem Ham-Fats. Am I right, Humphrey?
Yep.
And it's called Why Don't You Do Right?
Oh, yeah.
You had plenty money in 1982. You let other women make a fool of you. Why don't you do right like some other men do? Get out of here and get me some money too. Yeah. You're sitting around wondering what it's all about. You ain't got no money, there
put you out, why don't you do right like some other men do? Yeah, yeah. Get out of here and get me some money too. If you had prepared 20 years ago, you wouldn't be wandering now from door to door. Why don't you do right like some other men do? Get out of here and get me some money too. Jiving and I took you in. Now all you got to offer me is a drink of gin. Why don't you do right like some other men do? Yeah. Get out of here and get me some money too. Yeah, yeah. Why don't you do right like some other men do? Get out of here and get me some money too. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Why don't you do right like some other men do? Yeah. Get out of here and get me some money too. Oh, yes. Thank you. Why don't you do right? The first big #1 record for Peggy Lee. Something only ever so slightly different right now. A song that was a big hit for the jumpin' jive man himself, Mr. Louis Jordan. We're going to feature Ted Beament doing a little boogie-woogie piano on this one. Hope you enjoy it. Choo-choo-choo-boogie. 1, 2, 3, 4. Heading for the station with a pack on my back. I'm tired of transportation in the back of my hack. I love to hear the rhythm of the clickety-clack and hear the whistle blow and see the smoke from the stack. I pal around with Democratic fellas named Max to take me right back to the track. Jack, choo-choo, choo-choo-choo-boogie, woo-woo, woo-woo, choo-boogie, choo-choo. shoot, shoot, your boogie. Take me right back to the track. Jack, you reach your destination, but alas and alack, you need some compensation to get back in the black. You take a morning paper from the top of the stack and read the situations from the front to the back. The only job that's open needs a gal with a knack to put it right back in the rack. Jack, shoot, 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 your boogie, woo, woo. Woo, woo, your boogie, choo, choo. Choo, 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 boogie. Take me right back to the track. Jack! Oh, yeah. Give me that dance. A beaten down track, so when I hear the rhythm I can beat through the crack. See the train a rolling when it's falling the jack, 'cause I just love the rhythm of the clickety clack. So take me right back to the track. Jack, choo choo, choo 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 boogie, woo woo, woo woo choo boogie, choo choo, choo 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 boogie. Take me right back to the track. Jack. Thank you. Thank you very much indeed.
Okay, folks, it's ready for part 2 of Helen Shapiro and Humphrey Lyttelton in 1998 at the 100 Club in London. I used to go to the 100 Club.
Very good.
Yeah, it's really great. I reckon it's amazing. It's really impressive.
Really gets into it, doesn't she?
Yeah, I reckon she does. I reckon she's really sort of adjusted well, changing from the pop scene to the jazz scene. She's got the right feel.
Very good repertoire for her.
Yeah, I think
numbers very well.
Yeah, I think they've done well with that. They've chosen well. Yeah, so we'll continue now with part 2. Jazz Notes on BBC Radio 3 is the name of the program, and recorded at the 100 Club in London in 1998. Thanks, Frank. Catch you soon. I'm vk3sl.
All the best, Steve.
Cheers.
Cheers, listener.
My goodness. Thank you. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you, my dear. As a tot when I trotted in little velvet panties, I was kissed by my sisters, my cousins, and my aunties. Story's sad, it was bad, an inferno worse than Dante's. So, my dear, I swore, never, never more. On my list, I insisted that kissing must be crossed out. Now I find I was blind, and oh, baby, how I've lost out. I could cry salty tears. Where have I been all these years? Listen, you, tell me, do, how long has this been going on? There were chills up my spine and some thrills I can't define. Hear me, sweet, I repeat, how long has this been going on? Oh, I feel that I could melt into heaven. I'm hurt. I know how Columbus felt, finding another world. Kiss me once, then once more. What a dunce I was before. What a break, for heaven's sake. How long has this been going on? Dear, when in your arms I creep, that divine rendezvous, oh, don't wake me if I'm asleep. Let me dream that it's true. Kiss me twice, then once more. That makes thrice. Let's make it four. What a break, for heaven's sake. How long has this been going on? How long has this been going on? Lovely Gershwin song. Thank you. Thank you very much indeed. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Ted. Yeah. Yeah. I must tell Jesus how much I love him. I don't have to bear my burdens alone. He took my sin and washed me clean. So I must tell Jesus, I gotta tell him I love. I must tell Jesus, must tell Jesus, don't have to bear my burdens alone. When I'm distressed, oh, he gives me rest. So I must tell Jesus, yes, I'll tell him alone. Yes, I must tell Jesus, I must tell Jesus, don't have to bear my burdens alone. He says, come to me and I will set you free. So I must tell Jesus, gotta tell him alone, yeah.
I Must Tell Jesus, one of the wide repertoire of gospel songs in the repertoire of Helen Shapiro, our guest tonight. And Humphrey, this is a song that actually has quite a history with the band.
Yes, because we, back in the late 50s, we toured with a number of gospel singers. And we've toured previously to that with Sidney Bechet and Eddie Condon and a whole lot of rough and tough jazz musicians. But the ones with the gospel singers were the wildest tours of the lot. And one of the singers we toured with was Marie Knight, who wrote that tune. And Helen said that she'd like to do a gospel number in our show. So I sold her that one. Well, I didn't sell it because it wasn't mine to sell. Otherwise, I would have done.
Smash yourself.
Well, tomorrow night you can hear Helen talking to me about some of the other singers who've had an impact on her and her career. But now it's back to Humphrey Lyttelton and his band with Helen. And Humphrey, this is one of the tunes that I think epitomises the way in which you've made this seven-piece band sound like a much larger ensemble.
Due entirely to my staff arranger, Pete Strange. He should have a round of applause because he'd arranged all of it. I've given him 18-piece Woody Herman band arrangements and said, you know, adapt these for a seven-piece band, but retain the feel of a big band, and he does it.
Yeah.
I'd blow myself to death, but he does it.
And the next one is just such a challenge, the Duke Ellington vk3sl composition, Caravan.
So bright, the mystery of their fading light that shines upon our caravan. Sleep upon my shoulder as we creep across the sand, so I may keep this memory of our caravan. Exciting, you are so inviting, resting in my arms as I thrill to the many charms of you. Beside me here beneath the blue, my dream of love is coming true within our desert caravan. That shines so bright, the mystery of that fading light that shines upon our caravan. Come on and sleep upon my shoulder as we creep across the sand, so I may keep this memory of our caravan. You're so inviting, resting in my arms as I thrill to the many charms of you. Stop me here beneath the blue. My dream of love is coming true within a day.
And that's all from Jazz Notes tonight with Humphrey Lyttelton and his band and our special guest, Helen Shapiro.
Okay, that's all, folks. We just heard a transcription recording made at the 100 Club in London for the BBC Radio 3, featuring Helen Shapiro and Humphrey Lyttelton. Okay, we'll be back again next Friday for more missions. Thank you very much for listening in. Catch you soon.